Hi guys, Rebecca here. Figured I'd jump on here and do a real quick mini update. I'm just going to go down the quakes from yesterday and today. We're going to start with a 2.5 at 105 kilometers in depth. This quake was over here in the Cook Strait. Our next quake was a 1.7 at 115 kilometers in depth. Our next quake was a 2.0. It was 81 kilometers in depth. Until this is back over here in the deforestation area. Our next quake was a 2.9 at 144 kilometers in depth. And this one, as you can tell, was over here in the Tinley Forest, but it also sits near Meroa, which is a volcano. This one is a lava dome caldera volcano, and the distance from that one is approximately 6.2 miles. Let me take a peek real quick. And this one here is a caldera formed sometime after 230 years ago in the northeast corner of the 30 by 40 km Lacamara caldera, which is the largest of the top volcanic zones. The Lacamara caldera partially overlaps with the Topo caldera on the south and was formed during the eruption of the Lacamara group ignimbrites between 340 and 330. The Meroa caldera was subsequently filled by at least 70 rhyolite lava domes or flows, mostly erupted along the southwest-northeast trend. Lesser amounts of basalt were also erupted. The latest dated magmatic eruption took place about 14. When the rhyolite Pukatarada, tuff ring, and lava domes were formed. Okay. This is something interesting. Our next quake was a 2.3 at 159 kilometers in depth. This quake was over here in the Taranaki area at the Waikatora Forest. Our next reported quake was a 3.6. This quake occurred off front. And it was down here in the Harangi Plateau. The next quake was a 4.0 at 60 kilometers in depth. This occurred down here at the tip of South Island in Southland. Next quake was a 2.5 at 135 kilometers in depth. This occurred over here near Paispa, which is at the north end of North Island catchment area. And there was a 2.3 at 186 kilometers in depth. This one will lead to around a 3.5. Our next quake was a 2.4 at 170 kilometers in depth. This one was also near Whakatane, and this is at the north end of the island. As you can tell, it's near Tom. Coral. next quake from Aleutian, so 4.7 at 543 kilometers in depth in Fiji. The next quake was a 3.1. And this quake was Octapa. We had 2.5, 2.5, 2.1, a 0.4, to 2.1, followed by 1.2, 1.3, and then we had a 3.3 at 229 kilometers in depth. You can tell this is off the White Island Canyon, which is right over here. And this one there has a possibility of a fire. Most of these here come down in this way. Our next quake is a 2.3 at 60 kilometers in depth, and a 2.7, then a 2.6 at 50 kilometers in depth, and a 2.1, followed by 2.1 and 1.7 at 87 kilometers in depth, followed by 2.0 at 2.3, was followed by 4.9 in Fiji. This one was listed as 10 kilometers in depth. That was followed by a 1.9, a 2.1, a 1.8, a 1.6, a 2.5, 1.8, a 1.9, a 2.1 at 51 kilometers in depth, a 2.1, and then a 3.0. This 3.0 was over here near Chikora. As you can tell, we've had some other 3s over in here. That was followed by 1.5, 1.9, and then a 2.6 at 53 kilometers in depth, followed by 2.2, a 2.2 at 45 kilometers in depth, a 1.0, a 2.2, and then a 2.0 at 85 kilometers in depth. This was also over here in the Cook Strait area near Stebbins Island. That was followed by 1.7 and a 0.6. Followed by 2.6, a 1.9 at 30, a 2.0 at 50, a 2.7 at 53 kilometers in depth, a 2.1, and then a 3.4 at 142 kilometers in depth. This 3.4 is over here near Western Lake Atapa, Western Bay. This area over here also has some logging going on. Most of these ones here come down this way. They either go straight or they turn this way. Our next quake was a 2.1, 2.1 and 2.4, a 1.0 at 101 kilometers in depth. That eventually lead to a 2. We had a 1.8 at 47 kilometers in depth, a 0.4, 1.6, and a 1.6 at 141 kilometers in depth. And this also was over here near the top of the lake. Now we go on to today, June 10th, 2017. We'll start with 2.4 at 55 kilometers in depth. You can tell we're in the mountainous area here. And it looks maybe like a little bit of mining going on. also have a river over here. Next quake was a 2.0, 1.5, 1.4, followed by a 2.4, which was followed by a 3.5 at 25 kilometers in depth. This was Chatham Islands, Auckland. This is like the third time I've seen one sitting out here, so it's kind of interesting to see those here. My next peak was a 2.4, and that was followed by a 4.7 at 171 kilometers in depth. And this was down here in Fiji, right here. And these ones here tend to come down this way and affect this side of the island. Our next quake was a 2.6. It was a 67 kilometers in depth. That was followed by a 2.8, followed by a 2.0, followed by 1.9, a 2.0, and then a 2.0 at 101 kilometers in depth. And you can tell this is also off of Rebrola volcano again. Rebrola is a lava dome. That was followed by a 2.8, 2.6, a 2.1, a 2.6, a 2.3, followed by a 2.1, and followed by a 2.5 at 178 kilometers in depth. Our next quake was a 2.0, that was followed by a 1.6, a 2.4, a 2.1, that was followed by a 1.8 at 59 kilometers in depth at 2.1, a 1.8, and a 2.0. And that is the update for today. The areas that I think you'll need to be prepared and on watch for is here. Probably right in around here, we're looking for up to another 3 here. And this area needs to be watching for maybe around 4. But I'm going to put it over in here. Anyway, guys, much love. Check out DutchSINSE channel for, as always, the most accurate forecast. And you have a nice day. Actually, this area over in here needs to be watching also. And I would expect maybe to see some storms coming back over here. Anyway, guys, much love and God bless.